Big changes for those applying for a social security number while applying for the green card. Those changes announced today by the USCIS Immigration Service. Essentially, as of today, when you apply for your green card, under the new procedures, you'll be able to apply for your social security number at the same time. USCIS is revising the Form I-45 Adjustment of Status to include more questions so you can apply for Social Security at the same time as applying for a green card. Before this change, when you apply for your permanent residency, you get your work permit approved, and then you go with that card to the Social Security Administration and apply for the card. It's a lengthy process and people get stuck, and so without a social, you can't really work and your life is on hold, so this new change is a big one. So make sure you complete the new I-45 form correctly, including the application for your social. Questions? Let me know in the comments.